Hi everybody, welcome to Crowdfunding Countdown. We're going to take a look at every single board game campaign finishing up in the next week. And this week seems like a weird one. Not a lot happening, but there is one, very special one, that my friend called me to make sure that I gave accurate coverage on. So I think that's pretty exciting. I love when games elicit responses, vehement excitement. So that's what this episode is going to bring you. Huge, vehement excitement. Brought to you by everyone who supports me on Patreon, including Corinthian and Dean. Thanks so much for supporting the channel, continuing to support the channel. I know I made a big thing last week about being like, hey, don't give me money. Hey, you don't have to worry about it. If you can't afford to support the channel, or I don't give you enough value to be worth supporting the channel, I get it. I often look at myself in the mirror every day and say, you have no value. No one should give you anything. But to the people who dispel that, well, I just want to give a huge thank you. And I really appreciate you. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to continually do these videos. I hung out with Zach recently. We were filming some more Iridia just because it's really fun to play games with your friends. And when we record it, we remember where we were before. Even if consistently, those videos will like actively lose me subscribers on the channel. I don't care. You get what you get. But if you want to choose what you get, well, then you can support Patreon and you can say, dance, monkey, dance. And this monkey just might dance for you. But yeah, I really appreciate all my Patreon supporters. If you can't support, that's okay. Hitting that like and subscribe button and sharing and talking about me behind my back works just as well. So let's get started with the week. Well, actually, I'm deciding if I'm backing this. So let me look at what the add-ons were. Oh, and then I got to do my $1 pre-pledging. All right, we're going to start with the critically requested Snorkeling. It's not. It's 94 backers. This is a fast and clever, slightly cheeky card game where you dive deep and make the others resurface. Yeah, it doesn't look that good. Everybody starts with like a 5 card in their hand, and it's a ladder climbing style game where you're just like playing cards that are the same color or one less or one higher, you know? And then on your opponents, you're just playing cards that are one value lower. It's all random cards in your hand. I don't know why you would get it. A beach towel too for €33. But you know what? €9. That's what I want to see these games be, right? Like that's the price I want to see these games be. So I think that's pretty reasonable, 15 bucks Canadian. Of course, then there's always shipping. But like a lot of games, a lot of campaigns would try to charge you $25 US for something like this. And I think the fact that this isn't doing that should be commended. I still don't think it's going to be interesting or fun, but hey, I am happy that it is a cheap, uninteresting, and fun. Sorry, Snorkeling, but that finishes on the 7th, which I think is Tuesday at 4 p.m. Moving along, this is also on Tuesday. Loose in the Library. Build a team of inspirational women from history and fiction to capture literary terrors in a cursed library. 4 ways to play, 10 to 30 minutes. Let's see if this has anything going on in it. I did like that video. Shots of books, person. Well, why wouldn't you be eager to impress the senior librarian? I mean, come on. We know what the glasses do. Why do you think I've switched to glasses? It's not for eye strain. It's to satisfy all of your kinks. Ruben Board's moving to an OnlyFans. That's what I'm trying to say. All right, I wasn't listening. I was busy fulfilling your fantasies. Tell me about monsters. The real monster is right here. Is Alice in Wonderland a poet though? I take umbrage with that. I love there's different stages. You know, we're adding in rules. When you get to chapter 4, it's solo mode because nobody wants to play with you anymore. That's the peak. The peak is chapter 4 is solo mode. You've outlasted your friend's interest. All right, you're basically just getting symbols and then playing symbols on stuff to capture things. But will the draft be interesting? That might make something happen. Chapter 2, there's negative points. You want to draw a face-up book character. Oh, so if you take people from the market, you get negative points for doing so? That's maybe an interesting mechanism that like encourages luck. Oh, come on, tell me you've got a rulebook here. No rulebook, £5. What do you want for this? Printable is £10. Physical copy is £19, right? Like that's what I'm talking about. The difference between this and Snorkeling. I mean, this looks better, but you're just drafting cards to, presumably drafting cards. I don't know the difference between the chapters other than what they've said here because they don't have a rulebook. Looks like you're just drafting cards. Each card will have like an action on it, and they'll also have symbols. You're going to be using the symbols to kill monsters, right? Each terror gives you points. At the end of the game, you add up all your points from captured terrors and challenges. Yeah, I mean, like you're asking 36 bucks for it. It's like a $50 for this card game. I mean, what do you want from me? What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? Unfortunately, these librarians can only inspire me so far, and I'm not inspired to pull the trigger. But if you're interested in that, the finish is on Tuesday as well, at 5 p.m. Moving along to Lost Games 2025. Discover Lost Games, new games of 2025. Wishland, the card game, Medieval Realms, the card game, and Dreamwood, not the card game. Oh, I remember Wishland, the normal game, I think. Royal Hospital, I don't remember that one. What make these games Lost games? Let's find out. Yeah, show me your components. I'll learn everything I need to know. Oh, it's just funded, 101%. Way to go. Oh, the company is called Lost Games. There we go. Mystery solved. Yeah, don't call me a super sleuth, even though you probably should. All right, let's check them out. Dreamwood, 3 to 6 players, €17. Get a bunch of little meeples who are maybe racing along. Cool. At the beginning of the round, an event card is revealed. Players secretly assign their workers. Once revealed, they compare their placements in different areas. Advances are earned according to majorities and rewards indicated by the event card. So you're moving along a track. As you climb different tracks on the board, you'll unlock rewards such as reward cards, tokens from the bag, extra workers, or 2x multipliers. Okay, I like this because so it's blind bidding on where you want to go. You will go up on various steps. This is obviously like first, second, and third place, depending upon how many players that you're using. And that's not interesting until you add in that each step gives you something new. Like everybody's going to want extra workers because then you can bid more. But is everybody going to go for those extra workers? Or should you just like trickle down and get bonus points in other ways as well? The game ends in the round where at least one player reaches the end space of a track. At the end of the game, they score victory points based on the relative positions on each track compared to other players. That sounds great. I think that sounds very fun, depending upon what's going on. I would like to see a rule book on this because I want to know what all the rewards are and sort of measure them against each other. But you can sort of assume variable rewards, right? What they said. Reward cards, I just want to know what the reward cards do. Tokens from the bag, like I don't understand what any of those would have gameplay implications on other than the extra workers. But yeah, that's a great concept. Wishland, the card game, €11. Also nice price. Let's see. So Wishland, you're building a theme park, right? On your turn, you play a card from your hand to build one of your theme parks, forming different rows. The card must be higher than your highest card in the park or lower than your lowest card in the park. Can't play two colors of the same kind. After placing your card, you'll assign a worker to it, which will allow you to score it at the end of the game. Oh, okay, you don't get to score it unless there's a worker. Players continue until everyone has played a card or until players cannot make legal placements. And then they all have different scoring considerations, which is interesting because you have to commit to scoring them before you build it out. So you're deciding how you build this out, and this communal building out also seems fun. Way to go, Lost Games. This is looking good. Hotels score from the more you have. These are just simple, very easy games. Score based on how many actors you've recruited. And then Medieval Realms, the card game. I'm in. Like, these are good. €9. Also a great price. 140 cards, yeah. Each round, players simultaneously choose 2 cards from their hand, one to play, one to discard into their personal pile. After revealing cards, players may claim one from the market with a number higher than the one they played. Okay, so very similar to Wishland, that higher and lower idea. The order of choice goes from the highest card played to the lowest, which you have to play. And if you can't take a card, you must instead play one from your discard pile. This will cost you points at the end of the game. After 6 rounds, players will have built a tableau of 12 cards. Okay, so you can plan to play both of your cards, but you want to just play the highest card to get the best things. I guess these symbols mean different things. Points can be earned for collecting resources, set collection, maxing or mixing colors, crown majorities, discarded animals. Sure, this one seems a little less interesting than the other two. I guess kind of King Domino style choosing, where you play a card and the highest card wins. I want to see some variation. I would want to know the balance between, like, obviously lower cards should be weighted with more points or more point opportunities because you get the least amount of choice. And so choosing, again, in this bidding aspect of how you choose from the market. But yeah, I could see both of those being okay. And then there's a Wishland big box, which I'm pretty sure I covered Wishland way back. It looks familiar to me with all the meeples, but like €79 because the big box game, right? Oh, because you're getting all of the expansions in it because they're just selling the big box, one package. That makes sense. Oh, and metal coins. All right, that feels... And the little guys. They're just some little guys. Right, but I remember these categories and these rows of cards. You place a worker in the market to buy one of the available cards. You grow the visitors, increase your happiness, hire new workers. Yeah, this is coming back to me. Set collection, etc. So the bundle is €29 for those 3 games, though? And sorry, the all-in bundle is $89 when they're asking $79 for the Deluxe? What? 29 euro for those 3 games. All 3 games, if you like bidding and bluffing. That looks really good. And then the all-in, 150 for 4 games. Well, yeah, because you're getting the big Wish. I mean, Wishland did look good. You're getting a deluxe version, metal coins, all the expansions in Wishland, and you're getting, so that would be like about 100, worth 100, basically. Canadian, and then you're adding in these 3 games as well. Like, that feels really good. What's shipping? Shipping to United States, 18 euro. Shipping to Canada, 17 euro. So this would up it to about 70. You know, like, shipping's expensive. This feels like a really good value. Man, like in both categories, it feels like a good value. When was Wishland? Episode 92. Wow, that was a long time ago. Ugh, same time as Botany, which I did cover, and you can go back and see that I was like, this game looks like trash. And before I was even against $1 pre-pledge stuff. That was not enough. That was not enough, Chris of the Past. You're just like, it's a pick up and deliver. What do you want from me? I mean, it is a pick up and deliver, but it's not a good one. You be harsher. Anyway, we're gonna go over here, which is, where are you? Wishland, right over here. This was also my pick of the week back in 92, so I was contender that didn't make it. All right, it was almost pick for me. It was like runner-up pick for me. So yeah, I mean, these 3 look really good. $50 for 3 games. That all seem like fun testing, sussing out what people are doing, making decisions before you have perfect information. I think in order of them that I find most interesting, probably it is the order that we looked at them. Dreamwood, and then Wishland card game, and then Medieval Realms card game. But yeah, really, a really nice contender. As a nice bundle deal. If you're interested, that finishes on the 8th at 10 a.m., very surprised by that, and very pleasantly surprised. That's why I do some of these things. Very pleasantly surprised. This is Common Ground Conversation Cards, the couples card game for life's what ifs. We cannot have a conversation on our own, and so we need cards to do that. I'm really clicking on this because I imagine there's no game here. I imagine it's just prompts, and because it's going to tie in to how you do prompts correctly in the game that's upcoming halfway through the week. Yes, we've been dating 5 days. Let's talk about marriage. It's just a bunch of prompts. Just a bunch of prompts. So if you want a bunch of prompts and you want to spend $25 for something you could see on Pinterest, well, go for it. Or if you want a game, stay tuned. Okay, we're going to move on to Stormweaver's Stronghold, a story-driven adventure game, a mix of tabletop RPG, board game, and game book for 1 to 4 players. Okay, I can see some potential here. It also looks like something that I've seen before. So maybe it's been on Kickstarter? Yes, it has. It was in episode 179 over on Kickstarter in the giant friggin'... Wow, look at this friggin' week, eh? Oh, I know what this week was. This week was Wilt. This was Wilt's week for making me look at all those backer kick card games. The worst week. Yeah, I do remember that. I do remember Stormweaver's Stronghold. Okay, that's why it looks familiar, because it is familiar. I did cover it before. What I will say this time around, what I've noticed, is that there's a lot of games where the art doesn't seem to make it easier to read the board. And if it's just like a square grid, I just think, oh, this is another square grid, and there will be points of interest which I need to interact with. Here, I find that the art really kind of jumps out on the maps in terms of, okay, I probably can't go into this giant boiling ball of lava, even though it's a square grid. I also remembered the scratch-off map. I thought that was cool as well, but it's going to be expensive, right? I think I appreciate a storybook more than a bajillion cards, having played a bunch of Iridia, but scratch-off map seems fun. All of the standees will have these little pockets for your dice, for your hit points, and I do like games with a cooldown system for your cards. You have to time out when you can use it, because you're not going to get to use it again. So all of your actions are card-driven as well, but you'll have like a mobility card, which has a 1 cooldown, which presumably that you can use every time then, of moving around, then playing your cards to deal damage. It seems like fairly simple gameplay. Nothing about the combat really stands out to me in particular, and too expensive for my tastes. But the standees look cool. The scratch-off map is probably the draw. If you're interested in this reprint, you didn't get it the first time, which apparently everybody got it the first time. That finishes on the 8th at 12 p.m. Moving forward, we've got Terrorscape 2. Terrorscape returns with a standalone chapter packed with new features. Outwit, outplay, or strike back like the Empire. Whether you're the killer or the prey, be the protagonist of the horror movie. So I haven't played this, but I've seen it played. I remember seeing George and Ken playing it at Niagara Board Game Weekend or something like that. I know that they've probably already backed all of it. But yeah, it is in essence a big hidden movement game where the set piece is that the box is really big and that's the screen so you don't see into the other person's area. Okay, the Predator, iRobot, and whatever the heck this is. I think this is a fun looking game. I mean, I think it's like overproduced beyond the pale, but I think that's part of the fun as well, as you play your own evil monster on your own side of the board. Everybody's going to have a duplicate of this board, and the survivors are going to move around and try to get items needed to win the game. It's kind of like two-player Final Girl if Final Girl was a hidden movement game and no other mechanics were similar, but it's similar based on the theme. Yeah, kind of like that. Is that my biggest stretch yet? No. Will it be? No. The killer stalks alone using sound deduction and pure terror to hunt the other team down. And so what I do like about this game is both of you are trying to suss each other out. Because often in these hidden movement games, one of you is hiding and the other people are searching, but you both have goals in terms of hiding and then searching and attacking people. And so you're laying traps as the killer, hoping that you can lure people over to this area. You're trying to anticipate the killer's movements and go somewhere else. And it is this real sort of cat and mouse game, which I think is a neat idea. Now, you're going to be paying for the production, and it's definitely going to be a premium that you'll be paying. But I think for something like this, the set piece might be the way to get people involved, and it definitely is part of the fun and part of the over-the-top nature. I feel like horror movies excel on being over-the-top anyway, so I can see the benefit for this. If you just want a great hidden movement deduction game for not this price, you should just get Run. Run is my favorite of the genre. Nice, easy setting up the screen, which is good, with just different skins. Like, purely aesthetic, right? You're gonna pay for those aesthetics. New map mechanics, medkit, and armory. You'd think that those would be pretty integral, but apparently they're new this time. New winning condition, repair the vehicle. So new options. Every noise you make could draw the killer to you, because you'll give yourself away. The core game, Terrorscape 2, is 85 US, 121 Canadian, and then shipping is gonna be 21 to the US, 31 to Canada, 160, 170 to get this if I wanted it. I'm sure I've read through the rulebook, but oh, see, you know what I love? I love seeing this. I love seeing a doc up here. It says works in progress. It doesn't have to be a full rulebook. You have the videos. People want to see a visual component. This is a different component for people. Way to go, Terrorscape. Good job for putting this out. Most campaigns wouldn't put this out because they would be scared. But you know what's not scared? Terror. Escape. Killer, you just have to kill one person. I like that, so you don't have to worry about elimination. Your advantage is the killer doesn't know where you are as the survivors, so stay hidden. On the killer board, the level description shows the abilities that will be unlocked during the game. Love that. Unlockables are always fun. I'm perhaps less deep diving into this because it's been out for a while. It's always gotten good reviews. I know people who have played it and quite enjoy it and were eager to back the second version, although I don't know if that's saying anything because they back literally everything. However, I think everybody who's getting this knows what they're getting, right? I think you know you're overpaying. I think you know that it's silly. I think you know it's ostentatious, and you're going to get just like a fine game wrapped up in a big presentational bow. And if that's something that you want, go with God. That finishes on the 9th at 12 a.m., aka midnight on the 8th. Moving along. Okay, I'm quite excited about this. Dogs of War, a shattered realm, 6 feuding houses. You, a dog of war, shift battles, forge betrayals, and seize glory to rise as the ultimate victor. I've always heard great things about Dogs of War. I think Play to Z is doing a really cool thing where they're bringing back a lot of these evergreen titles, or not evergreen titles, but maybe cult classics, let's say. And while I hated that with Tales of the Arabian Nights, which did not need to be brought back, although it certainly did need an update. I'm excited about this Dogs of War, which CMON used to own, and now Play to Z seems to be bringing forward a little minis version of this, which seems neat. I imagine it'll be too expensive for me, but you know what? $50, that's better than their usual pricing. Let's see. Our second release in our Shut Up and Sit Down Presents line. Look, handpicked by Shut Up and Sit Down. They're just like, hey, shut up and sit down. You want to help us out? You want to recommend something so that we have a bunch of guaranteed sales? And Shut Up and Sit Down says, yes, give us a cut, please. I'm sure that's how it works. Or Shut Up and Sit Down. Or the non-cynical version of me is like Shut Up and Sit Down says, yes, I want to use my influence so that people can play this game, which if Room and Board wants to present Attack on Titan, the deck building game, and anybody wants to do it, let's get together and feel all right. All right, so you got the base game and you got base game plus, which just gives you metal coins. $50 for this is really good, though. It's really, really good. So I'm very happy about this. Streamlined rework from the ground up to deliver more balanced and immediate gameplay. You're going with meeples to push the price down. Gameplay updates, condensing 4 rounds to 3, a shorter game time combined with meaty final round rewards leads to a nail-biting finish. Cool. Mercenary captains, additional factions that you control to balance the 3 to 4 player experience. Glorious victories. This is a gameplay update. You used to just have normal victories, and now you have glorious ones. Swings of power that were near impossible in the original game are now more achievable, but still challenging in this new edition. I really do like Libertalia. Libertalia was great. Libertalia was the surprise hit of the summer, I would say. It didn't top the charts on everyone's list, but it was very high up, made the podium on pretty much everybody. And I think most people of my actor friends ended up buying. So I think that's cool. This looks good. Only backers get the Dogs of War exclusive art and a $15 Play to Z gift card, included in the most complete version of Dogs of War ever made. I like that. Yeah, but that's a good sell to get another game cheaper. As we await physical copies of the new edition to arrive, take a look at these reviews at the original. Yeah, I mean, this is one of the ones that I'd heard great things about. Shipping 17 to the US and Canada. So it'd be 90, just shy of 100. Let's call it 100, but 95 for this for me. Let's see the rulebook. Read a prototype rulebook here. Yeah, let's go. In a footnote, you want to read the footnote? Do you want to read kind of how it's played? Because we haven't told you anything about that yet. Well, here you go. In one single sentence, you just need to know that it's coming back. I mean, honestly, that's a lot of what I need to know. This is good. This is the Dogs of War draft rulebook. Clean, which is better than the not safe for work version. Action phase. You play a tactics card, you place a soldier company into one captain, and place it on an open battlefield. Make sure the standee strength is high enough for the space. You cannot place in a battlefield opposing one with the same color. Basically, you're bidding on sections, right? Like area control, there are fights that are going to happen. Oh, this was the player aid and condensed rules. Okay, great. I was like, that's a weird way to start your rulebook, but it's not. You and your most treacherous friends will compete, each wielding a unique and powerful advantage over the others. You will raise armies to do these rulers' dirty work, fighting endless wars. At the end of 3 long years of bloodshed, only the Dog of War, most steeped in battlefield trophies and influence with the prevailing houses, will stand victorious. Shakespeare's pretty freaking bomb, isn't it? A curse shall light upon the limbs of men. Domestic fury and fierce civil strife shall cumber all the parts of Italy. Blood and destruction shall be so in use, and dreadful objects so familiar, that mothers shall but smile when they behold their infants quartered with the hands of war. All pity choked with custom of fell deeds, and Caesar's spirit ranging for revenge, with Ate by his side, come hot from hell, shall in these confines with a monarch's voice cry, "Havoc!" and let slip the dogs of war, that this foul deed shall smell above the earth with carrion men groaning for burial. Yeah, it's pretty sick. 3 rounds. Battles between 6 noble houses take place. Each player controls a dog of war. Arf, arf. Choosing which house to support at... I'm sorry. Arf, arf. No, I take it back. Stop it. Arf. Uh-oh. No! Sending their captains. As the houses emerge victorious in battle, it becomes more valuable for the players who have influence with it. Okay, so you're pushing up the influence on a bunch of different stuff. Earning influence with the prominent houses is key. Victory may also be achieved by defeating your opponents in battle and earning bountiful rewards and riches. Now cry, arf, arf! Let slip the dogs of war! Cool. Okay, so if you're not playing with a 5-player game, you're using the other colors as blocking. So 5 players is probably optimal, but there's a way to have non-playing characters that you control, which I do enjoy. You have a set amount of points or money that you spend on additional people. Yeah, it's a very simple game. You know, you're just placing people out. It's bidding, it's area control, however you want to think about it. Move the battle victory track towards the supported house, a number of spaces equal to the strength of the played standee, including any bonus penalty. I love this. As I was looking, more anonymous people are popping in to check out the rulebook as well. The house with battle victory track on its side is won the tug of war, and you're basically bidding on opposite sides of a battle and choosing who's going to win, who won't, getting points for doing it. I think it's exciting that it's coming back. I think this is a reasonable price for it. I like Paulo Mori because Libertalia. I think the bidding is going to be interesting and balancing your captains. If you've played the original Dogs of War, sound off in the comments and let me know what you like. But if you're interested, that finishes on the 9th at 3 a.m. I just clicked on this because I thought it was very silly. This is the Hobby Smart Case. Smart storage for graded cards. Built for collectors. Protect, organize, and track your graded cards with smart technology and a companion mobile app. I mean, it's just a case. It's what makes this a case for your cards versus any other case that looks exactly like this. They call it a case for your cards. That's the only difference. You know, this one charges you $549 for a case. Just get a Pelican case, bro. Get a Pelican case with some foam. It comes with foam. You take stuff out, you're fine. It can carry my microphone. It can carry your cards. Let's move on to this one, which I don't have high hopes for. This is the Dukes of Nukes. V2, the party game of nuclear thievery, a card game where 3 to 10 players fight for control of the nuke codes through trade and thievery. Just be the one player with the nuke codes by the time the game suddenly ends and nuke your friends to be victorious. It's old maid, where you want to be the maid. That's every day of my life. Commit espionage. Wow, it's like this is the greatest card game ever. Well, it does say this exciting card game. This is my pet peeve. Any TikTok that's a 1 minute long that says, this amazing card game is about nuclear war. Sounds amazing. You want to be the person with the nuke codes in your hands. You play cards to steal. You play cards to block the stealing. Whoopity-doo. It's another game that's at least $20 and not $25. So there you go. That's about what I expected from it, and it did disappoint. We're moving on. Speaking of disappointing, we're not going to cover Goblin Party because we're not doing it. It did the $1 pre-pledge. Not interested in campaigns that continue to do this feature. At this point, I think we all know. At this point, it's not going to be affecting any FOMO. I think somebody pointed that out in the last thing. They're like, yeah, okay, we all know the trick now. It doesn't affect FOMO, so we can get the $1. I know. I just don't like it. I just hate it. And if you do it, I hate you. Just kidding. I like people, but I hate Launch Boom. We're going to move on to this one. Echoes of Astra TCG, a tactical anime trading card game with world-class illustrations. Cool. I mean, it's a trading card game, so naturally you know how I'm going to feel about it immediately. But sometimes trading card games can still scratch a little itch. For me, the addictive personality boy. I forget what internet comment I was arguing with. It was one of them. And they were like, you suck. You get addicted to Hearthstone, loser. And I was like, yeah, I don't know how that's like an insult. It's like somebody tried to be like I have a self-professed addictive personality, right? I think we all kind of do as collectors. And then somebody tried to, I think, shame me for it. I don't know how that shaming would work. Like maybe because I'm so far above in my head anybody who I'm arguing with online, that when people just like try to throw things and they just stick at the wall to be like, to try to emotionally affect me. Newsflash, I don't have any emotions, okay? So you can't really do it. Anyway, I don't like TCGs, is my point. I just had a flashback to that. I was trying to remember, it's not a good story when you can't remember half of it. You could make fun of me for that. That's fair. Yeah, I was trying to remember what that person was saying, and it was just like, maybe because it was so off base from like what the actual issue at hand was, and you know when people resort to that, it's because they're idiots and don't have anything else to say. Maybe it was that, man, that's why it was funny. Anyway, let's look at this TCG that I'm going to say, it's a trading card game, not doing nothing special, but it's raised $500,000, so, you know, it must be doing something. Maybe it's just the cool art. I do love the art. I do love an anime art style, so maybe there's gameplay here. I'd never get into a trading card game, but we'll see if there's anything interesting mechanically. Capture the combat zone to gain victory points. World-class anime illustrations. Build your strategy. Dominate the battlefield. I wonder if anybody's ever built a full deck of trading cards, like a playable deck with PSA 10 slabs. Because if they were all slabs, presumably you could shuffle them, right? Your deck would be so big, but presumably it could work, and then actually play the game with their collectibles. I don't know. That video told me nothing. I imagine this tactical gameplay is boring, but let's see. Sport Real Artist is nice. There's a capture point. Trainee pack is $50. Like, no, don't do it. I hate these prices. Like, nobody needs this. You're just trying to get gamblers. Echoesofastra.com/rule set. Main objective, you're fighting to control 3 combat zones. Reach 20 victory points before your opponents. Okay, so it's like a King of the Hill style game. Combat seems very simple. You're pushing people into this 3 King of the Hill style everybody will have an attack value. There's no defense value. You're just dealing damage to each other at a time. Doesn't seem exciting, basically, at all. Overpriced nonsense. People are going in for the art. So that's Thursday, October 9th at 9:57. Nothing of value there. Moving along. I feel bad for these guys. We're going to cover Goblins Hate Christmas. It's a card game, Goblins versus Santa. Dodge the gifts or turn into a cuddly elf. Only the nastiest goblins keep their wickedness. Goblins Hate Christmas sponsored like the R&R show, which is on Rahdo's channel, for like 3 episodes. And it is a bummer that nobody's sort of taking to their idea. It's kind of a very simple card game. Only 12 backers. Sorry. It's one of those card games, again, which is a little bit generic in that you are playing cards against each other, passing around bad gifts. But it's a print and play. It's a good price. It's $5 for a print and play. Or you can spend a wild $65 for a full edition, which you shouldn't do, sorry. Yeah, it's just play cards on each other, hope that you get the good cards left on you style of game. Not really my personal preference, and probably not the wide board gaming audience, or the niche board gaming audience. Is more of a sort of a mass market game. But yeah, that's why I wanted to click on it. Sorry that it's not doing well. But that finishes Thursday, October 9th at 6 a.m. Okay, we're moving on to this one. VERNE, my neighbor when I was growing up. His name was VERNE. Well, he lived 2 doors down, to be clear. Battle, trade, and conquer in the lost lands of VERNE, an immersive fantasy sandbox game for 1 to 6 players. I have a feeling that this is going to be completely awful. It's got like so much pizzazz, but it looks like Monopoly. Here, you collect your income when you pass go. Roll and move to explore VERNE, so there must be different pathways, hopefully. Claim shrines and build castles. But okay, this is just what they were doing. Quick cuts in there. There's the rulebook. We need the rules, because their quick cuts just seem like all sizzle. No stake. Obtain quest points to meet the requirement for a quest. You earn the quest point. If you have 4 or more quest points at any point during your turn, you win. If you rule a kingdom, 1 per kingdom, you get a quest point. Own 2 stables, own 2 temples. Okay, you can adjust the quest points. This is more positive. The fact that it still has a roll and move, it's like you can move in any direction of your choice. You have a picture of the board up here, but at least you can modify. So you're getting modifiers as you go through. Yep, Shire Scrolls. If you land on a Shire, you must pay the fee. It's Monopoly. This is how you adapt Monopoly to making it feel like not Monopoly, though, to be fair. There's the encounters, or chance time, or community chests. Are the battles interesting? You roll a dice. Modify it with some cards. This is like if Mario Party didn't have mini games. Yeah, unfortunately, this just looks completely bad. The fact that people are getting this with metal coins for $99 to $69, like, that's just... I think, like, if you are a hobby gamer, you will find this to be really bad. If you've only played Monopoly, then this could be very exciting. So that finishes Thursday on the 9th at 9:59 a.m. I just clicked on this one as well. The card supply, the trading card binder reinvented, because it says AI tracking. An AI tracking binder? Oh, it doesn't track your collection. It just tracks the binder itself. That makes sense. And honestly, a pretty good feature if you have an expensive card collection that gets swiped. Now you can track it down. That makes more sense. I was like, how does it track your collection? Are there scanners? Are there cameras in every page that scans the card as it goes in, and it gives you a digital profile of what all your cards are and their grade? Yeah, okay, that makes more sense. Oh, okay, here we go. We're here. Next up, we have Veneficus, a secret game of psychics, not physics, but psychics. A psychic-themed 3 to 12 player party game with the added thrill of deception. So my lovely friend Tim Rial, who you may have seen over on Nerd and Correct's Twitch channel, sent me a message last night saying, hey, you're going to be covering Veneficus in your crowdfunding. Call me before you film, because I need to tell you about it. This is true. Tim is like, I have no stake in this game. I am not involved in this whatsoever, but I played this prototype, and I thought it was awesome, and it's not getting the buzz that it needs to get. And then he pitched it to me. And so I'm going to watch the video first, and then I'm going to tell you what his pitch was. And I'm going to see if there's a mismatch, because he's like, I don't think they're marketing it correctly. I don't think they're really selling it on what the joy of the game actually is, which is deception, which I know you would like, Chris. And I said, what do you mean? I like deception. I'm an honest boy. And he said, no, you're a naughty bad boy, and you've admitted to it on the channel. And I said, oops, that's true. Okay, we didn't have that, but in my head, we had that conversation. In my head, that's what he called me, okay, Tim? In my head, that's what you call me. When the moon hits just right, psychics gather to play their secret game. Okay, yeah, bad video. Not bad, but I see where they're going wrong with their marketing. And I also am like, no, tell the real fun thing that's happening as well. So I think, huge shout out to Tim. Basically, this is the game where you have those conversation prompts, right? A card will be drawn. It will say like two things, this or that. You could do this with any game, honestly. You could do this with a like would you rather style game as well. And one player will be the psychic who chooses like this or that. They choose, they commit to it, and everybody else will also commit to the this or that thing. Now, in the video it says without knowing who the psychic is, but you got to try to predict what the psychic is. No, you don't do that. That's not how you play. You just pick a thing that like resonates with you. And then the psychic is revealed. They're like, oh, I picked this. And then even if you picked that, you now have to convince the psychic that you picked this. Right? Let's go with A or B to make it more clear. If I'm the psychic and I picked A and you picked B, you need to make me think that you picked A as well. You're like, yeah, I also agree with everything you're saying. It's the this thing, it's the this thing. And the most convincing person, the psychic will choose, yeah, I think you and I were on the same wavelength. If they pick correctly, then everybody who like was correct gets points. If they picked incorrectly, then whoever was like incorrect gets points. And so it's like a secret team game of bluffing where you're like, yeah, no. And in fact, you might want to get it wrong. You might want to be on the opposite side and then convince otherwise, because you'll get more and more points the more you deceive people. I love games about deception, obviously. And I think this does sound like a really fun take on the card prompt game genre. I think this is the exact way to do it, because you still get the conversation that happens. You still get it as like an icebreaker game of like, oh, I think that all cows should be blue. It's a universal statement, honestly. Like, I should have picked something a little bit more zany, because I don't think anybody out there wouldn't agree with me on that. But you know what I mean. The famous icebreaker prompt of what color do you think cows should be? But you get a little bit of a game in there. You get some bluffing. You get trying to read the opponents. You get people who are like really passionate about one thing and are like, yeah, we're on the same page. But then maybe they were lying and they were just appealing to what you wanted to hear. You could name this game, What Do You Want to Hear? It's so surprising to me that they have it a playthrough on No Rolls Barred and this hasn't like exploded. But yeah, that's the pitch. That's the pitch of the game. That's a better pitch than what they're pitching here. So I think it's cool. It's $30. It's 42 Canadian, and then plus shipping is going to be $9 to the US, 20 to Canada. So for me to get it, it'd be pretty expensive. But luckily, I don't have to, because I know Tim is purchasing a copy, and I'll get to play with him. Yeah, I think it does sound fun. I think it sounds like the best iteration of that genre. It's a way to make that genre actually interesting. And having combed through Kickstarter so much and seeing those like prompt the game ideas come up, this is one that actually makes a game and therefore actually gets me excited. So I think that's cool. I think it was a great pitch from Tim. Tim's excitement got me excited about it, and so I want to make sure to share that excitement with all of you. If that's something that you're looking for, you can check it out. The finish is Thursday, October 9th at 10:59 a.m. Moving along to Making Monsters. Making Monsters, a laugh-out-loud bag-building board game with monster mayhem. Sure, let's check it out. I like bag building. Okay, that seems fun. Win the most chaotic science fair ever. Nah, you're making monsters. You're pulling out body parts from a bag and you're putting them on cards that need the body parts. But if you draw too much rot, then you bust and you don't get to make any monsters. Oof, 119. Yeah. Base game 49 though, we love. Including a premium Lazy Susan. Nice. Save 10 to 30 off MSRP. We don't know what it's going to be yet, but we know it's going to be cheaper. Shipping to Canada, 10 to 30. This is your only shot at the definitive edition. When it's gone, it's gone. No retail, no restocks, no regrets. That's the deluxe edition. Because you get wooden tokens. Yeah, it's a bag building game. You kind of got to go for the wooden tokens, don't you? So really, it's $99. $50 for that. Woof, though. You'll choose how many tokens to pull out, I guess. Sure. Draw from the bag, pull parts. to build people. Complete monsters for prestige points. Refresh. New monsters, new madness. $50 for the wood upgrade, though. I might stick with just the regular tokens on this one, just for the price, even though oftentimes this will be the only thing to get me to pull the trigger on the deluxe edition. Rulebook. Okay, let's see. Okay, you're also betting on what somebody else will pull, which might give you a super action. I like that little twist. That seems fun. It's giving me what I wanted Trudvang to give me, honestly, in terms of the bag pulling. Or it's the same system. If there's no room, there's no monsters that you have, then even a nice juicy leg won't serve you. If there's no monsters that need leg. You're going to be building out your lab too, so it builds out the number of spaces that you can put things on. Cool, your monster tableau is going to grow over the course of the game. Yeah, I think the predicting what your super action is going to be, and which is often getting you wilds and getting additional tokens, that's sick. It seems like it would be pretty easy to hit these things, especially when you get to score on both of your neighbors, so it seems pretty friendly to get your super action, but I like that there's the potential to not get your super action. Looking at people's boards, you should probably be like, all right, they can only draw 2. They're guaranteed to do the red. I think that's not going to be as exciting as I want it to be because I don't think the options are that interesting. But yeah, I think pulling stuff from a bag in a cute theme is pretty good. I think $49 for the retail feels pretty nice as well. 70 Canadian, and then shipping. Canada's 22, US is 19. So for me, again, it's like $100 for the retail version. I don't know if this is going to retail. Skyline Games, it's the first game from this company. Raised a pretty decent chunk of change, so maybe we'll see it in retail. I think it's a great concept. Great concept, simple, well-known mechanics if you like bag building games like Quacks or whatever. So yeah, you can check that out. It finishes Thursday, October 9th at 12 p.m. I think we've had a nice solid crop of games, and I still think it's going to continue. Robo Rescue is up next. Race for depleting resources and guide your robot home from a collapsing Martian facility in the strategic adventure for 1 to 4 players, with an asterisk on it. Where's the asterisk? No, where's the asterisk? 1 to 4 players, why is there an asterisk? 2 to 4 players. Oh, unlock solo mode with the Mischievous Machines expansion. 56 for a deluxe base game like that. I think some of the Lemery Games people might be behind this, but it's a different studio. They had a precursor to this campaign of like a free card game that they gave out as marketing for this, and clearly it did its job. All right, so it's programming like Robo Rally, but there's a couple mini games alongside with it. Strategy meets emotion. That's the first time I've heard that. Deluxe base game is the base game, though, just so we know. They just added deluxe so that it sounds better. It makes you feel cooler, and it does. Essentially programming actions where you have to pick up a bunch of stuff and repair your ship. Yeah, program and move your robot, pal. Guide your robot with each carefully chosen command. Movement cards become your words, directing your robot to scoot forward, turn left, or take a daring right. Throw in a levitate command to glide over obstacles or activate a blast. To blow up a container for extra Earl! Put some Earl in the dirt. Scavenge for spare parts scattered among the workbenches. Connect broken circuits. Hunt for processor chips or energy cells hidden in the old labs. And maybe even some leftover Earl! To grease those rusty gears. Put some Earl in the dirt. Convert your collected resources into the essential components needed to repair your spacecraft. Be the first to repair all 4 of your rocket engines and secure your robot's triumphant return. Or cover yourself in some Earl! Okay, I'll stop. I had to do 3. Get the Earl in the dirt! It's just a basic programming thing where you collect extra resources. How much can people screw with your programming? I don't know. That's what we're going to find out. I see your robot's going to always move 2 spaces. You can make them move 2 spaces forward, or you just say move and left. And that's like a single move, considered a single move. How is this different from Robo Rally? Well, in Robo Rally, you just have to reach a flag. That's it. It's just a race. Here, you're going to have to run around collecting resources. What resources, you ask? Well, there's some cable dice, there's some power, there's some bonus cards, and there's some Earl! I have to do something. I'm all alone here. Put some oil in the joint. You're collecting all your Earls to gain rockets. You need rockets to add to your rocket engine, etc. Oh, but it's not. So everybody takes turns one after another. It's not simultaneous movement. I just assumed it would be. So why have these movement cards? Okay, so it's more like Mancala style because you're running around on the board. All of the spots where you land are going to determine additional actions. I don't know why you would never not take a combo movement card. It's just going to be an efficiency puzzle, as there's like 3 little mini games that you're doing, one of which is just like connecting circuits, one of which is collecting Earl, and then the other which is just like, hey, I collected a bunch of chips and stuff. Yeah, okay. I'm not like blown away by it. 56.79 Canadian. Shipping is going to be 19 to 24, depending where you're at. So again, for me, this is like a $100 game. I don't know. I think it's an efficiency puzzle is what it is. It's not really a programming game. I thought it was going to be a programming game, but now reading into it, it's more of an efficiency puzzle where you have a number of actions on the board, program and move your robot pal. I mean, it's barely programming because you don't really have to worry about anything else that's going to contend. You have to move once, and then you go, okay, then I'll go left and right with some limited cards in your hand. Not as exciting as I was hoping for it to be, but if you like efficiency puzzles and this theme interests you, and you like Mancala, not Mancala style, like it's not really Mancala. I just was saying Mancala because you move and you take actions on a spot, and like those actions can go away. I think it's just more like an efficiency pick up and deliver style, but pick up and act style. Run around the board, try to be as efficient as possible, getting the actions needed to create the rocket ships is what it is. It's an efficiency puzzle. And I like efficiency puzzles, but I don't want to spend $100 on it. But if you do, you can check it out. It finishes Thursday, October 9th at 5 p.m. Let's move on to this one. Geekmon Capture, a dynamic game of dexterity packed with awesome geek references. You know, if Pokemon had a field day with Pal World, feels like this isn't long for the world, is it? You do have to just throw your cubes at the Pokemon, though. And that's fun. There's critical throws, so if you hit their weak point, you automatically win it. And then it's just set collection. Oh, they're shiny, too. That's cute enough. So they did this in Brazil, and apparently it got funded pretty well. It's a very simple game. A Pokemon-themed, where you're going to lay out different Pokemon, and you're going to flick cubes onto them. And the most cubes on it, you win that Pokemon, you're going for set collection. That's pretty much it. They say there are different arenas, so they must have different rule sets depending upon what arena there is. I'll check the rulebook if there's anything else, but I don't think there will be. 20 pages? Maybe there will be. You choose your active Geekmon as well. The impact of your choice. Oh, type advantages. I see. There's different cubes, different values for the cubes. Yeah, okay. Everything I'm reading enhances it. Yeah, the type is just a tiebreaker. And getting more Geekmon in their evolutionary line means more points. Set collection. You know, not bad. How much are you? I mean, it's $69 for an all-in gameplay. No, thank you. What's the base pledge? Geekmon Trainer, $30, 42 Canadian. Shipping to the US is 14 or 15. Cute art, just flicking cubes. An interesting concept, perhaps unique, perhaps something that you're aching to add to your collection. That finishes Thursday, October 9th. At 10:59 p.m. Moving along, let's go to Lone Wolf, Vengeance of the Kai. Enter the world of Lone Wolf, relive the epic saga read by millions, reimagined as an asymmetrical 2-player strategy game filled with heroic champions, climactic battles, tense trade-offs, and dire wolf consequences. The war for Magnamund begins. Magnamund. I prefer my pronunciation. Cool. I know nothing about this IP as a concept, but we're going to check it out. Game for you is if you like stuff like Star Wars Rebellion or War of the Ring. Well, 1 out of 2 ain't bad. Asymmetric game, dynamics, high variability, replayability. The Lone Wolf book series. Interesting. I don't mind them taking a swing at making a pretty complicated game. The full game is going to be $100 US, 141 Canadian. Oof, is our dollar that bad right now? It certainly is, but it's been worse. It was worse in February. That's when I need to cash out my US dollars. So the full game, yeah, $99. At least the sculpts look different. We got that over War of the Ring. Click for PDF rulebook. Yes, please. How long are you? Probably like 40? 24, okay. 6 round, each side pursuing different objectives to win. It has multiple sources of variability. Mix of leaders, starting territories, card draw that allow for endless replayability. Every action a trade-off between advancing your own agenda or hindering your opponents. Freeland Alliance begins the game with less resources. Troops and gold must survive long enough for Lone Wolf to succeed at 5 quests to recover the power and wisdom of his slaughtered order, the Kai Lords of Summerland, to destroy the Dark Lord. The Dark Lords possess a more powerful army and greater wealth, which they must use to conquer 5 of 9 Freeland capitals before Lone Wolf succeeds in his quests. If neither side achieves its objective by the end of the 6th game round, the winner is determined by whoever accumulated more victory points. All right, yeah, very, very much good team versus heavy bad team. Very War of the Ring. Primary phase of each round is driven by the use of leaders, major characters from the Lone Wolf Saga, who can either move troops to engage in battles, occupy territories, or play action cards, which consist of 3 types: combat, strategy. Leaders have various skills and 4 traits, which determine their ability to play different cards and how effective they are in one-on-one duels with the enemy leaders. Most of Lone Wolf's quests involving dueling somebody else, and the evil people can increase the quest difficulty. Different locations on the board will have different strategic import, and they will do different things depending upon the players that enter them. Every territory you control gives you the ability to build more troops at the end of the game. Yes, you can leave a territory empty of troops and still control it, but then somebody can move in and take it. Troops under siege in a capital should be placed in the capital insets along the bottom and right edges of the game board. It's very War of the Ring coded. The main difference here is that each leader will have to take an action and they have a stat. And so certain actions can only be taken by certain leaders. Therefore, certain actions can only be taken in specific spots where the leaders are. And so moving these leaders around will be the key component of this game. Yeah, I think if you really like War of the Ring, this is worth taking a look at. Maybe that's how it's been getting so many people. It'd be $140 for the base game, and then shipping for me, US and Canada, it's all $25 to $28. So again, $170 for this game. I don't know, I like that it's very card driven. You're going to be rolling dice in combat, but you get to choose the amount of dice that you're going to be rolling. It looks more interesting to me than War of the Ring, but that doesn't take a lot to do. It looks less interesting than Dune War for Arrakis, but I think it has like some interesting asymmetry in this war game genre. I can see why people are resonating with it. I hope people who are fans of the books are fans of like diving into this heavy thing, but I think it sells itself very truthfully, and I think the experience that it is putting forward is the experience that you are likely to get. So yeah, not bad. Not bad. For me, it's a meh, but you know, you might like it. That finishes on the 9th at 11 p.m. Might need to take a break. Okay, we're moving on to Container, Gruntz, and Triangulation. Out of print for far too long, the legendary Container returns. Discover Gruntz, sharp duels, and Triangulation's witty word guessings from our friends at BoardGameTables.com. Sorry, all play. I like the pitch that it's silly. I've always thought of Containers being like very heavy economics, so that's exciting to me. And I feel like Container was more expensive back in the day, even when it first aired, so I think that's great. Navigate a pure economic game of supply, demand, and trade. Easy to learn, brutal to master, and bugle to master too. Plus Gruntz 19, Triangulation 19. Of course, there's going to be an expansion that you can forego if you get the all-play medallion, which will give you a small box game that you don't know what it will be yet. All right, how to play. That's good, because I never knew how. Construct machines, warehouses, and, you guessed it, containers. Take 2 actions with your turn. Pay for warehouses to build more containers. Be careful with your money. The economy's tight and your opponents are cutthroat. Buy containers to sell in your harbor. Buy containers from other players and then flip them in your harbor store. All prices are set by the players, so make sure your supply meets the market's demand. Auction off your containers at the island. For final scoring, players have secret asymmetric values for the containers they've purchased here. The island's government subsidizes the trade, matching what someone is willing to pay. Okay, this is the only way new money gets injected in the game, so you get double whatever you want. I mean, triples would be better. Triples are best. Deluxe swaps out the plastic pieces for premium metal ships and containers. Yeah, I remember when this came out. At first, I remember people talking about it. Container expansion introduces just a bunch of modules. All right. Player loans, so they have to approach a player instead of a bank. That's fun. Luxury containers, adding gold containers to the supply. Trucking plus a trunking company. Closed economy. This is why they like it. Secret container values at the beginning of the game. Container value cards are dealt secretly to all players. Because these values aren't shown, you have to suss out what your opponents are going for throughout the game, just like you're going for a certain color. And some people don't care about containers whatsoever. Is there a rule book for a container yet? I don't know, I guess we'll find out. But then we also have Gruntz. Gruntz, you'll command units like infantry, tanks, and aircraft with rock, paper, scissors-like relationships. And we're putting magnets on them just to have fun on what type of tank you want. Each turn, move twice or deploy once. Move twice and deploy once, or move once and deploy twice. Okay. Movement and capturing rules are unique for each unit type. Again, based on that rock, paper, scissors idea. Capture zones in the middle of the board to gain points. 2 zones controlled gives you 1 point. All 3 zones give you 2 points. First to 3 points win. Okay, and then they're woodifying and metalifying some other stuff if you get it in the bundle. Sure, just a little small war game, which maybe you like it. And then Triangulation, which is not a war game, but a word game. Give 3 clues trying to get your teammates to guess the secret answer using word association. The twist, your opponents get to guess first using the first 2 clues. Okay, it's not really much of a twist because this game exists. It's called Cross Clues, and it's basically the same. Can you be obscure enough so that they can't suss it out, but make it perfectly clear for your team when they get all 3 clues? Yeah, okay, that's fun enough. Yeah, okay, and then you can, I'm just thinking about stuff that you could give for clues, like Wicked, for example. You could put like, probably can't put names, that wouldn't be fun, but you could put musical and evil, and then you could put green. Feels like it'd be fairly simple. Book John, the Bible? What was C? I don't know. Oh, the opposing team gets to reveal 2 things. Okay, great. Yeah, Book John, I already got it. Yeah, it's okay. I think I don't really care about that. I don't really care about Gruntz. The only thing that I would really care about is Container. I wish that there was a rulebook for Container, though, because there isn't. I don't really care about it either. However, you do get great pricing, $4. I understand people going for Container. Not surprising, not many people are going for Triangulation, and people just going for the standard Container. I think that would probably be where it's at. It's intriguing enough for a economic game. They're really leaning on this is out of print and it's come back, but I think that's fair because it is out of print and they did come back, and I've only seen it for more expensive. So, way to go, BoardGameTables.com. Sorry, I'll play. It's been over 2 years since I got this domain. And we're going to move on. But we're not going to move on to Riftblade. Riftblade, again, decided to use the $1 pre-pledge, and we don't give free marketing to companies that do that with this dueling deck builder. But we're going to move on to this one. Interesting. I clicked on this because I thought it was probably going to be bad, but it's raised $100,000, so, I mean, that's never a measure of if it's good or bad. Probably illegal. Fake crimes and backstabbing friends for fun. A storytelling card game of chaos and betrayal. Win over the judge or torture rivals and watch it all burn. Okay, it's another sort of snake oil style game. Oh, great. And then you also get to make the game not mean anything. You have these cards which are like, haha, everyone mixes up their cards. So the only amount of choice that you have is in what is absolutely, say it with me, a funny card game. Oh, yeah, wait a minute, we get to read these. This is funny. Oh, there's scenarios and skill. This is a funny game. I can't wait to sit around with my friends and read cards and laugh. Oh, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be hilarious. Oh, it's gonna be dark. Oh, it's a dark game? Ooh, I hope we say things that we're not actually allowed to say in public, but it's okay to say because they're written on cards. That's very funny. This is incredible that this raised so much money, but I guess funny card games are alive and well, which makes me want to die. That finishes Friday, October 10th at 11:01 a.m. Let's move on to Kalypso from the creators of Earth. Is it from Inside Up or is it from Max? Let's see. Salvage debris to build a floating settlement in a world swallowed by the sea. Okay, get it, Inside Up. I want to learn more. All right, I mean, the theme seems great, but that video, I mean, we don't need to... I would rather see the motion picture at this point than necessarily play the game. It's just a polyomino game. You're drafting tiles, and you're going to be constructing buildings based upon the tiles that you create. You want to worry about the amount of plastic in your settlement, because you can't make things with plastic. Don't tell that to the 3D printers. It's because of you we have no land anymore, and we're on a world entirely made out of ocean. It's because of you. Kickstarter pages are long, eh? Here's a snapshot of everything you need to know. Tile laying, simultaneous play, drafting, combo chaining, long and short-term objectives. Boom. You draft a tile from the vortex, simultaneously play your tile and trigger bonus actions, but everybody drafts probably at the same time, so you draft and then you all play. I guess people don't get to see what you have done. Tackle community objectives and round-based challenges to win. I'm wondering, like, this seems fine, this seems fun enough. I'm wondering why you would get this over, like, of Reterra, where you're doing a fairly similar thing. You have different symbols, you're putting them together, you are creating buildings out of them, and the buildings will have different effects. Like, what does this bring that doesn't bring? A tile draft? I mean, you're pulling tiles from the market anyway with Life of Reterra. It's pretty much the same. Combos that let you play way more tiles than you'd expect. Okay, you can go fishing, sure. Catch fish by leaving gaps, place tiles outside the lines. The world ended, so who's going to stop you from breaking the rules? Okay, it's just because the playmat doesn't matter, and you're trying to sell it as though it's something innovative. Trying to sell that the variants aren't variants. You basically get 3 games in one because you get solo and co-op, and like that's just that doesn't resonate with me whatsoever. That's just you making up stuff because your game isn't good enough on its own. A special non-slip coating keeps tiles locked in place without the use of magnets. Okay, see, that's sick. There's game trays storage. At least there's trays in there. I don't think there's much more to think about. I think it was a great example of the game, but we'll take a look at the rulebook, see if there's anything we missed. You're providing a challenge for your neighbors. You pass them a forecast, which the fact that you're passing left and right, I don't know, it feels like you can dogpile on one player in that way rather than just passing in one direction. I feel like I am wildly underwhelmed by this. Just get Life in Reterra. This is going to cost you like $80. Life in Reterra is going to cost you $20 at Target. Like, and you want to manage your plastic because as long as it has enough other stuff with it, you can use it to build a building, but you can't use it to build a building on its own. It's just, I'm so underwhelmed. I'm really so underwhelmed by this, and that really bums me out. $53 US, 73 Canadian, or there's a deluxe edition. Like, come on, no. It just isn't worth it. They also have an additional danger high voltage card game, which is a trick-taking game where you draft your hand of 9 cards, and then you play a trick where the highest card wins. Score each colored group, but beware, a run cancels it out. You score the lowest number in the circuit, and they're all going to be worth a variable amount of points. I just don't think this looks really good at all. I think it's overpriced. I think other games have already done this, and it's very disappointing. Real letdown. But if you're interested, then you see something I don't, that finishes Friday, October 10th at 8 p.m. Moving along, we've got Dinosaur Island fully charged. Dinosaur Island is back and better than ever. No, give me Dinosaur Island Roar and Write, the expansion. I've been dying for it for ages. Magnetic dinos that stay in place, neoprene mats, new game contents, rebalanced rules. They're bringing like a deluxe edition of Dinosaur Island, which I got to play for the first time in May, and I quite enjoyed it. I still like Roll and Write better, and I think it's cheaper. I think you get all of the enjoyment from Roar and Write rather than paying $150. You can pay probably like $30 and get pretty much the same experience. But if you hate Roll and Writes, if you want physical components, well, this is potentially a good option as well. I love that so many games are given like magnetic stuff or like sticky stuff. That's one good thing about Gnome Hollow. Dinosaur Island is fun. You're building this dinosaur theme park, essentially. There's going to be some changes, some balance changes, essentially. Shipping 18 to 19. Essentially, there are 5 rounds. There are 5 phases in Dinosaur Island. You're going to be doing a little draft phase where you are choosing like 1, 2s, or 3s and assigning them to actions. That'll determine how much DNA you get, how much of one thing you get, the size of the dinosaur you can put into your park. Then you're going to use your workers on your own worker placement spots that you're going to build up over the game to get additional like cards and stuff like that. Then you're going to add those people, visitors to your park. You want to draw yellow people because they're safe. Red people are rebellious. They don't pay you money. And you hope that you've managed your threat correctly so that they don't die and get eaten by dinosaurs. All the people being there will score you points, and most points win. It's a good game. I don't think it's worth this much. I think go get Dinosaur Island Roar and Write, and you'll be just fine. That finishes Friday, October 10th at 11:58 p.m. We've got Coin Pusher Galactic Surge. Just like in the arcade, you can push coins for maximum rewards in this roll and write print and play game for 1+ players. Well, we always look at some print and plays, and this is one of those, so let's do it. Okay, so you want to get the most points. You're going to roll 3 dice. One of those dice is always going to be applied to a ship, or else it'll explode. You then choose a column, which will have some specific restrictions about them, like ordered, even value, 4+, etc. But they will also have dice assigned to them, so you have to choose a dice and then you have to add a number. So you're finding the combinations of numbers that work for you while being restricted by always spending a dice on these aliens. So you'll lose your outs, so to speak. If you're interested in something like that, that finishes, that's $3 for the print and play, $5 Canadian. That finishes Saturday, October 11th at 10:30 a.m. You know, I meant to put this at the beginning because I was gonna say, yo, everybody. And then I was going to make Yo Ho, my hotties. And then I was going to say, no, it was sponsored by Yo Ho Hotties. And then I forgot to do all of that. So we're left with this Yo Ho Hotties. You know, there's a lot of smutty 3D STLs that you can find on the Kickstarter board game tab, and this was one of the funnier names. And so because of that, I gave me a little chuckle, and I thought maybe I could give you hotties a chuckle. Yo ho hotties. Right over there. That's a yo ho hottie, if I had anything to say about it. I also didn't realize that they were fairies. So why like yo ho is clearly a pirate phrase, right? We know this to be a pirate phrase. It's yo ho ho and a bottle of rum. Then why are these fairies? Like what does the yo ho have any like etymology or some sort of fairy connotation that I don't know of? I don't think it is. I think these should be pirates. These yo-ho hotties are in the wrong world. Did they start out as pirates and then they went to a different virtual reality and kept their yo-ho hottie status? Are we living a Sword Art Online Season 2 moment here? I don't know. But what I do know is that all of yo are Ho Hotties. Anyway, wanted to share that with you all. I guess this isn't very popular at all. I always click on Dice Advent Calendars because I think the concept is fun, even though I wouldn't really care because I would be like, this is fun. What do I do with all these dice? I know what I would do with devilish dice. Devilish dice! But other than that, I don't know what I would do with it. But, you know, if you want to get some wooden dice Advent Calendar, solid wood calendar box, full set of dice. Oh, it's just a calendar box that's wooden. But it's a cute little calendar. If you're interested in that, I'll leave the links down below. And then we'll move on to this, which I think is our last one. We've got Bagged and Boarded. Bagged and Board. The game of collecting comics. Build the most valuable comic collection in this thematic, rummy-inspired economic worker placement game. Bring them all to Saudi Arabia. Wait, no, those are different comics. Those are different comics. It's some set collection. There's some rummy influences, they were saying. The goal of the game is to acquire the most net worth, and what better way to do that but than by collecting the largest sets of valuable comics? Yes, forget Beanie Babies. Let's get back into the comic game. There's only one way to earn a fortune in this industry, and that's by becoming a collector and then selling it to some poor sucker who just really likes the thing. Screw you for not getting in on the ground floor. I speculated correctly. By the way, these will be all high-quality plastic cards that won't require sleeves, but also won't be all slippery like most plastic cards are. Bold claim. Okay, any Chip Theory card deck. Yeah, slips out of my hands instantly. Okay, game is played over a series of rounds. Each round, players will plan their days, resolve daily activities, then perform the bedtime routine to prepare for the next day. So you have 12-hour cubes. You put out your cubes. They basically determine the strength of your action, it seems. While you can perform some actions in your bedroom, others will require you to leave the house. You know what? I beg to differ, comic hunters. I don't think I've left my house since I got back from WSBG. So, who's laughing now? Who's laughing now? Great, I love gifts that don't tell me anything. Okay, every hero has 1 to 5 solo, and then 6 to 8 is a crossover. You'll be watching what people are collecting, you collect them, and then sell them to somebody else. It's gonna be 65 bucks. Yeah, I want the rules, because it's not a good campaign. This makes thematically sense. If you unbag autographed comics, they don't retain their autographs. It just slips right off. Be careful. Be careful if you have something signed. Don't put it in a bag, because it'll rub off in the bag. Okay, you generally can't claim more than 1 action spot, but comics are different. There'll be circles around them, and you can't have more than 1 spot in there, but they cost different things. I think it's fun. The action values have 1 or more values corresponding to how many times you may perform that action. Okay, boosting increases those values, except in the case of grading. Action or boosting reduces the cost, because you always just get a better version of it. You can basically search for comics that you want and then buy them. Okay, but when do you sell things to somebody else? I thought that's what they were talking about in the video. Ugh. I guess because you're holding on to things until somebody jacks up the price and then you sell it and then they pick it up and add it to the price. Okay, I see. That's what they were saying. All right. So the actions you can do are basically just taking comics in a variety of forms or upgrading their value. That's what it comes down to. And then selling the value back to the board or holding on to it. You want to display sets, you're collecting sets, and then you reveal those sets and kind of put them in front of you. For every hero that you add to that set, that hero's value will increase because they're like, wow, this hero is so cool. You got a big set. So you want to get those big displays, and it's all about manipulating the market and using your time cubes to choose to do actions. I like the idea of time cubes. I like that there's a lot of actions that you can do and that you're assigning these time cubes as like workers. You can think of them as workers, and you can think of them as sort of delayed activation. Then you'll activate all the stuff in a row. Everybody will get to do it. Boom, 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 boom. Collect the comics, put them down. Yeah, it seems fun. Like, it seems fun mechanically. I don't want to pay $65 for it or 91 Canadian and then plus shipping, right? USA is, oh, it's only $4 for shipping, $9. Nice. They must be partnering with our friends over at boardgametables.com. Sorry, I'll play. Yeah, I think mechanically this does seem quite fun. But I think it is way too expensive and it's not really a consideration for me. It doesn't, I'm not a huge comic fan. Maybe if I was a comic fan, this would appeal to me more. I think Comic Hunters exists, although they do have a quote on the page that said Comic Hunters exists, and that this is better. That's what Mick said. I don't know. It depends if you trust Mick's opinion or not. Yeah, if you're interested, the finish is Tuesday, October 14th at 4 p.m. And that's it. That is it for the week. Now, every week I do a pick for me and a pick for you. The pick for me being the thing I think is the most exciting mechanically for me, that I would want to sit down at a table and play. Generally, never regardless of price. Let's be real. Or that I think I would be the most likely to purchase myself. Or the pick for you is the thing I think if you got, you'd regret it the least. But let's go through and remind ourselves of this pretty big week. There's a lot of decent ones, starting with this one, which is no, yeah, no, meh, don't know why that's still here. Nope, absolutely not. No, nah, no. AI tracking. Yeah, meh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, meh, and meh. Okay, we know the pick for me already. Yeah, the pick for me is this Lost Games combo, right? Dreamwood is the most interesting to me. Wishland card game is second most. Medieval Realms is third, whatever. But I think like $50 Canadian for these three games, all about bidding. I haven't reached the excitement of this throughout the entire episode, and I've been doing it all day. So yeah, I think this is, I'm legitimately contemplating it. Like, I think these look good. They look simple, quick little games, really, really nice stuff. I kind of want to do it just to show you that I can put my money where my mouth is. There's 4 days left. They put up the full rule book to Dreamwood. Maybe that might put me over the edge. But yeah, that's the pick for me. And then the pick for you is gonna be Veneficus, just because it moved Tim so much that he was like, call me. I gotta tell you about it. And I think it also looks good. I think it hits in that bluffing element as well. I think of this genre, it has taken that get to know each other icebreaker genre and added a game element to it that I think would be as fun as any sort of Jackbox party game. So I think that's the one. I was contemplating making it something else, like making monsters was close, I'd say. Container would need a rulebook to get close. But this is the one that I think, yeah, I think it looks good, and happy to make that the pick for you. This is one that kind of deserves a little bit more attention, I think, as well. Both of them do. This and the Lost Games, both of these deserve to be having a lot more attention. But that's it. That's it for the week. As always, thank you so much for tuning in and hanging out. And yeah, I appreciate you. Appreciate you doing that. I am going to end the video because I really need to eat something. But yeah, I hope you're having a great day. Have a good Monday. I'll see you in the next one. Once again, my name's Chris George. Oh no. Oh no. I don't have a catchphrase. When does it become embarrassing? That's my question. Has it become embarrassing yet? I don't think so. I think I still got time.